Saturday evening, and testing out a little setup here, trying to see if being closer to the router may make an improvement in the quality of the video. I don't know. We'll find out. You got to love the joys of technology and whatnot. And man, today was a great day. Just some different things that kind of popped up and whatnot. And it's one of those things that there's beauty in everything that is around us. You never know what you may come across when it comes to things that are present in your life that may be something that you aren't noticing. Because there was something that I shared on my Facebook page earlier today in regards that if you got a dream, if you got a vision that you're chasing, are you resistant with items that may be showing up? And it may be a path that you look and you're like, that's not what I want to do. So for me, I've talked about it before. It's the aspect of that being the medium of writing, and ended up finding a website, Buy Me a Coffee, and a couple of times in regards to if you're a content creator, I know a lot of individuals are going through and setting up Patreon. But with this Buy Me a Coffee, the beautiful thing is that it does some different things than that of Patreon. So Buy Me a Coffee, you can set it up. Individuals can actually come in there and provide a quick donation. Patreon, based on what I'm seeing in regards to what I was reading off of Buy Me a Coffee, that's something that Patreon doesn't set up, doesn't provide. And so maybe you have members that would like to support you as an individual, but they don't want to pay a monthly subscription. Maybe they want to just have the opportunity to pay whenever they want to pay to help support you in regards to whatever you're looking to bring on, whatever you're looking to accomplish and whatnot. And so it's just one of those things of being aware. It's being mindful and taking a look and seeing what may be popping up, because you never know what may be showing up in your life is something that you are looking to take advantage of, but because wrapped box or gift or whatever you're going to call, you're like, I'm not taking a look at this because it doesn't match up with what I'm thinking, what I see coming out of it. And so you've got to be careful, because you just never know. Something may be popping up that you end up are looking to take a hold of, looking to bring into your life, but because it's not in your ideal vision of what you think, you're like, I ain't gonna mess with that. And so you just never know. You may be missing out, and there may be an opportunity that's present that you can take advantage of. And so it's just something to consider, something to think about. And let me go here while we're talking and whatnot. I gotta find it. So, but what really brought up the idea here is there's beauty in everything. And the funny thing is, when we really think about it, he is in the eye of the beholder. So everybody can determine what they believe to be beautiful, what they see as being a beautiful thing. You just have to make that determination on what you believe that is. You don't know. But what I'm going to do here is grabbing it real quick, maybe. Trying to go into my post, and I'm going to end up just sharing this in the comment section here, and that way anybody that is a content creator or thinking of ways to enhance what they can do, what they need to got multiple things going on. So I'm gonna post this here. You can go take a look at it. It's the latest post that I did, and I laugh because one of those things is I really am not one that likes to write out my thoughts, and so that link that I just posted there is actually the Buy Me the Coffee site, and you can go check out my posts. Give me any feedback, anything that resonates with you. Maybe you're like, this is crazy. Bring that too. I don't care. You can bring that's your opinion. That's how you look at stuff. So, but yeah, there may be some of that maybe I'm not seeing. Maybe you're looking at it a little bit differently, and would love to hear that. Just to get that feedback, just to kind of view and see how you see it and whatnot. And the other thing that Patrick and I had talked about, and so maybe you're building a business, maybe you're like, man, it's got to be business, business. I really can't show my true solid self when it comes to building the business because individuals look at me in this regard, and so I'm not going to show up as my true solid self. You're missing out. You just never know what. Yeah, we got a clock out here too, so we got chiming going on. It's good time. So, but you just never know. So it's not always about the business. It's how can you find ways to give value? How can you create value and give back to other people outside of the business? What can you do to continue to provide value and meet the needs of others and really help them strive to get to wherever they're at? And so, Rick and I, about 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks, everything bleeds together and whatnot. We did a live stream. We did an unboxing of Pokemon cards, and you're like, you guys are freaking 34, 36, and you're playing with Pokemon cards. That's just part of what's taking place. And it's funny. And so we did talk that we have these code cards. So if you're into Pokemon, we have these cards, and I'll show one of the codes here. I'll snap a picture and upload it to our Instagram page. That way, whoever wants to use it goes and uses it. But I also heard that people are looking to buy these. So I don't know. But there's that code here. Take a picture, snapshot, do whatever you need to. But like I said, I'll upload that onto the Instagram page for Two Native Sons and have that out there for individuals to utilize if they want to. But when it comes to really kind of what brought this idea up of beauty all around us is last night I got to hang out with some great friends, got some dinner and just collab and just built more tighter, deeper relationships with each other. So what I'm going to do here is share my screen, and what I'm bringing up is off of Instagram. So this lady, this was at Rooster's House of Ramen downtown Colorado Springs on Tejon, and it really got me thinking. I was like, man, you just look at the color there, the lines, different things that are artistic pieces and whatnot, and was looking. There was multiple pieces in the restaurant that she had designed and created, and so I went and looked her up, and it's just one of those beautiful things that art is a very subjective situation. And so we see here, somebody could be looking at that and be like, man, well, she had painted out the words passion, and you can see it was dripping. She used a lot of spray paint for her designs and whatnot, but she does other mediums and whatnot. But it's just, you never know. If you take the time and really stop to look around what is around you and see what's out there, you just don't know what you're missing out. And so this is one of those things that I looked and I was like, man, an awesome thing right there that somebody's got that talent to be able to do it. And then another piece that I was looking at on her Instagram page, and it's just, I don't know how to express and whatnot, but I was looking at this piece, and it was just one of those things that you just look at it and you're like, man, well, for me, it was one of just the coloration there. Just the lines, just how it looks and whatnot, just very deep there, and it's a beautiful thing. And so I was watching a YouTube channel today, and it's an individual that I watch in regards to some different things and whatnot, and they do unboxing of Pokemon, and so they were talking in regards that they were going around there in California, so they were going to local comic book stores, mom and pop shops, and they have brought something up that I really didn't think about. So you can go to the big box stores and buy the Pokemon cards or whatever it is, but being able to support these small chain bookstores, comic book stores, restaurants, the price may be a little bit more than what you may find in a store and whatnot, but think about what you're doing for the owner of that store. And they have a livelihood that they're building. They've got their family that they're taking care of, and they're just running and doing what they're passionate about. And so it got me thinking, and I was like, man, I haven't looked at it that way. With Two Native Sons, our drive is to highlight and showcase the small businesses in the Colorado area. But we ability because of Jasper Axelrad and what he's done as our sponsor. She's from the Texas area, so she's got people out there that she's looking at talking to and allowing us to showcase individuals that are outside the state of Colorado. And so it's a beautiful thing because ultimately Patrick and I have this big dream and vision of just showcasing and highlighting small businesses. We want to work with them and help them get their story out there and really showcase who they are. And then the other thing is we're real big with social media. And it's one of those platforms that you look at it, a lot of people aren't utilizing social media properly. You have the ability to go live. And it's one I've talked to individuals and I've looked at it, and it's a matter that they get scared for the fact that they don't see the audience on the other side. Like right now, I have somebody that's watching this. I don't know who it is, but thank you for taking the time to watch it here. But you just never know. And so with getting into the throes of using social media, using Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and taking advantage of those platforms and reaching out to your audience, you have something at your disposal that wasn't there a while back ago. And so social media is a beautiful thing because this is an avenue for you to share your story, share your message with people, and really let people know who you are. But then we also have the flip side to social media, and I have to laugh because I'm in a Facebook group, Tony Robbins group and whatnot, and somebody made the post. They're like, man, I didn't know this was a dating site. All of a sudden, like, it's just pictures and this and that. And I have to laugh. I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand. But like, are you trying to make a big wave to get attention because you're not being seen or something like that? Like, if you don't like it, like, yeah, just leave the group. There's the 3 dots that you can click and you can hit leave group without any, I don't know what you're trying to do, stir up the pot and whatnot, but it's funny because social media has those too. You have the power of using the live streams to get your message out there. The other thing is, like, for podcasters, one of the things that I'm real big on, and it's just through listening to other individuals, is live streaming while I do the podcast and have that avenue, that view where people actually get to see a face. And we got another clock going off, so it's 15 after if you didn't know. But yeah, the power of media with podcasting and having that outlet for people to watch and really see what you're doing and showcase the process. Because 2 weeks ago when Patrick and I had done the live stream of the unboxing, it was about 20 minutes after we said we were going to start the live, which we did get it started, but people were able to watch and see the joyous challenges that we dealt with as Patrick is trying to set up the electronic piece in regards to the live stream with the different platforms. And that's one of those unique things that with the Twitch channel for Two Native Sons, going through one of the applications that you can download, is having that learning curve because it's a platform I haven't used. And so it's one of those things as we're growing the Twitch channel. And so that was last video, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I don't remember. Actually, while we're doing that, let me go ahead and grab that and I'll post that in the comments. But it's just a unique thing because Twitch has it where it's very interactive, but you have the application where you're able to go and recognize individuals that have shown interest in what you're doing. You can build a community that way. Oh man, that's good times. Okay, whatever. I'll have to update this video later because I don't have it here. But yeah, it's just another avenue in regards to showcasing and having that community and building with people and just building those relationships out of a non-traditional routes, because Patrick has a lot of individuals that he knows and he's built relationships through the Twitch community. And it's not the normal piece of what we think of with the networking piece when it comes to businesses where you're face to face and utilizing Zoom, you've got Twitch and you have individuals that will tune in to watch and support and build that community. But Patrick knows these individuals that are part of his older community that are starting to rotate over to the Two Native Sons community and whatnot. But it's amazing how that is another platform and another outreach that is untapped for a lot of people. And so it's one of those things, because LinkedIn's another thing that people are not tapping in properly. So if you go listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, and that some people like him, some people dislike him, he's one of those that he's like, okay, that's cool, that's your life, that's how you see stuff and whatnot. But he was discussing that with content, so doing the lives, that's content that you're creating and whatnot. But he had done a video and he talked about 15 pieces of content a day, and I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, oh my goodness, that's quite a bit. But then he clarified and he said, this is for your multi-million-dollar companies, your billion-dollar companies. Like, go take advantage of the platforms, go and set up and do 15 pieces of content a day, just to have that outlet to get in front of people and just to do some bigger and better things and whatnot. And so he had clarified, he's like, if you're a smaller business owner or just starting up, then not 15 pieces of content a day. It's 1 or 2, 3, whatever you can do and whatnot. But that was something that when I look at it, the content that's created, because with social media, with the live streams of the videos, you have an opportunity as a business owner that you can do these videos. And the beautiful thing is there is the share button. YouTube, you grab the URL link and you send that to whatever. But it's one of those routes that when it comes to marketing and getting in front of people, the beautiful thing is with social media, you have the ability to hit the share button, and you can share it to somebody that's outside the state. Maybe you know somebody that's getting ready to move to Colorado that's from Texas, and you have an individual, a business that has done a live and shared their story and really told who they were. And so the beautiful thing is that person that's in Colorado can be like, man, this is great. This is somebody that my friend needs to know about when they get here. So the beautiful thing is you click the share button and you share that to that friend that's moving in here. So with the traditional aspect, commercial, billboards, newspapers, all that stuff, that is a difficult route of, let me share this with my friends, because it takes a lot more work. Now you have to go online and find the article wherever it's at. Maybe you take a picture, screenshot it, and then you have to do all the work to email it out to your friend and whatnot. But social media has leveraged that where it's simple. You just hit the share button and you go and you share it to whoever and whatnot. So it's one of those things, and that's the big thing with Patrick and I, is helping these businesses, showcase them and help them to understand the power of what they have in their hands and use it fully to go and make that impact and really make a dent in whatever they're trying to do. And so bit of just some other information here, and it's got a book. Of course, I've always got a book, and so this comes from Limitless. Every book that I talk about, I highlight and say, you need to go check it out. You need to go get this book. It's that stuff. So, but there were some things in here that I want to really pinpoint on, and the first one is. This is by Tyrone Edwards. I don't know who that is. It's just a quote in here that Jim had put in. Tyrone says, the secret of a good memory is attention, and attention to a subject depends upon our interest to it. And it's one of those things. So the secret of a good memory is attention. So if you want a good memory, you've got to have that attention. But it's that attention to the subject depends upon our interest to it. And so think about it. If you're doing something right now and you don't have that passion or you don't have the interest in it, your memory is not going to be strong. Your memory is not going to help and do what it needs to for you as the owner of that memory. And so you've got to look and say, well, am I doing something that I'm passionate about? or am I stuck in this box? Because the argument is, so Jim in here, he has a quote that you have over 6,000 thoughts in a day. And then somebody's brought that, they've done some research and I found out that it's not 60, it's like 6,000. But still, though, the premise on this is with your thoughts, you have a large amount of thoughts that take place. The bad thing about the thoughts is I think it's 50 or 60% of the thoughts that you have are autopilot. And there are thoughts that you've had on a recurring basis. And so it's that aspect of these thoughts that you have constantly just keep repeating, recycling themselves. And so if you want to make the change, you've got to see what thoughts you're having, and you've got to go in there and start changing those thoughts to change the pattern, to change whatever you want and whatnot. So first is the power of your mind, the power of your thoughts. And so to finish here, he had stated that we rarely forget which has made a deep impression on our minds. And so this is one of those things that deep impression on our minds, the stories that you hear from somebody's experience, being able to see somebody's excitement when something takes place and whatnot, it sticks. And so that's really what has people are like, man, let me go check this out, because of that impression that it took place with the individual. And so that is one of these things that I look at going back to social media. With Patrick and I, when we do the Dreamer Cypher, having that real, raw, authentic conversation, we don't leave anything off the table, because they can show up as their true selves. Individuals that are coming on as co-hosts with the Dreamer Cypher, which is every Wednesday, 6 and 7, depends on the schedule and whatnot. And actually this week, it's going to be a great turnout. We actually will have 3 other individuals on the show with us. So I think that we've done before is 4. No, was it 4 or 3? I don't know. But it's one of those things that bring people on and let them be true to themselves. And so that will be this Wednesday. We'll have Jasper Axelrad, so she'll be back on. We'll have Garrett Goggins. He was actually the first individual that we had when we started the Dreamer Cypher. And then Titus Kleppinger. And I had Titus on the Divorce podcast about 4 months ago, I believe. But it's going to be those 3 plus myself and Patrick. And those conversations are huge. Those conversations are great because it's people showing up being themselves. And so for ourselves, Patrick and I, we have people come on and we don't tell them this is what we're going to talk about. This is what you can't talk about. No, like everything's on the table. There is nothing that we don't hold back on. And so that's the funny thing, because last night at dinner, Jasper had brought that up and be like, oh, Titus would be a great individual to have come on the Dreamer Cypher, but I never got an interview. So the thing that I was telling Patrick, I'm like, if you want to come on the Dreamer Cypher, we'll reach out and ask people. But if you have something that you want to talk about and you want a space that you don't have to hold anything back and you can be true to yourself, come join us. Let us know. Reach out to us. We're more than happy to have you on. So it's not like we're going to be like, no, you can't come on. We don't do that stuff because it's the beauty of what we do. We want those raw, authentic conversations, which people want those things. And so we don't hold back. And that's a beautiful thing. And then the other thing that really sticks out with this book, Limitless, another quote in here. This is by the life which is unexamined is not worth. And so that can, when you think about that quote, that can mean different things for everybody. And so it's the beauty is in how that person perceives it. You don't know. Everybody looks at things differently and whatnot. And so I look at this, when you hear this quote by Plato, the life which is unexamined is not worth living. I look at it as the fact that as humans, a lot of us, actually a lot, like 95% of individuals are on this autopilot programming that has been established. And the autopilot results from the beliefs that have been stuck in your head that comes from other people. And then you grow up and you have experiences, and then your experiences kind of commingle with the beliefs that somebody else had stuffed in your head, your paradigm that somebody has stuffed in your head. And then it's hard because you've had this connection piece and you don't examine it. And so you're on that autopilot situation. And this goes back to the thought situation, which the statistics that I've heard with thoughts, it's between 60 and 70,000. So like I said, somebody said they've seen it where they've come up and said it's only 6,000. But the issue now we're running into is, you're going to limit people and say, well, we originally were having 60,000 thoughts, but no, it's 6,000 thoughts. So it's one of those things that people are like, man, like, what thoughts am I having? And so it's things that, are you questioning it? Are you taking the time to look and really do a deep dive and see what thoughts you have? What are your repeating thoughts? And are there thoughts that are not serving you? Are there thoughts in there that have been stuck in your head because somebody else in your family, your friends, or whoever, some stranger that you met had said that you look stupid, or I don't know, yelled at you because they were mad at you and whatnot? Because thinking about that, I was talking to Danielle McCarthy tonight, and she was telling me a story that happened today, and the situation was just very funny, even though at the time it wasn't. But she was at the grocery store. Supposedly people were mad at her. They said that she was driving crazy. And so she got out of her car, went to get her groceries and whatnot. Those people had followed her into the grocery store and were yelling at her and doing some stupid stuff and crazy stuff. And they left the grocery store. They didn't get anything. And so I was like, well, they were playing the game today. They're like, what car do we need to draw and really find that car? So they found the car, and they're like, what are we going to be angry about? What are we going to be upset about? This is what we're going to be upset about. And so it's just one of those things that it's like, man, are things happening in your life because of being on autopilot? Are you not examining your life and really saying, okay, is this piece of my thoughts that I have that aren't my true thoughts, but they're thoughts that somebody else has impressed on me, and serving me? Is that doing what I needed to? Or are these thoughts my actual true thoughts? But the thing that happens is people don't want to do the work to really question, because it's not fun sometimes, and it's not easy, because if you think about it, your thoughts and your paradigms have created this box that you live in. And so that's your comfort zone box. And so when you get to that boundary of your zone and your comfort zone, it's scary, because once you get past that boundary, you don't know what's on the other side. Even though when you look at it, getting past your comfort zone, that's truly where life occurs. That's where life takes place. And so are you getting there, and like you get to your comfort zone and you get to that boundary and you're like, I don't want to do it because I don't know what's on the other side. Now it's kind of scary, because maybe you've had these thoughts and beliefs your whole life, and you're like, man, what if it's not true? Like, this is my thought that I'm having, but it doesn't match up with what I've had before. And so it's one of those things that it's a habit that you've had. You've had this habit however long. You've been conditioned and programmed to constantly have these thoughts. And then we get to the point where people don't want to question. People don't want to question their thoughts and beliefs, because that's a scary thing. That's a hard thing to do. And now you're going through and potentially getting away from your little comfort zone. And so that can be scary, because now you're going into the unknown, and change is taking place, which people don't love change for whatever reason. I don't know why, but the change is a constant in life. Change is always taking place. If we look at it with nature, look at trees. Trees go through every season, where every year, winter time comes around, fall time comes around, they start losing their leaves. They start shedding the old to get ready for the new. And so they're going through a change. And so it's the same thing for us as humans. Like, change is always happening. Change is always taking place. But are you embracing that change, or are you pushing back and resisting the change? Because the funny thing when you think about this, and this comes from Jim, I believe, he said, what you resist continues to persist. So if you're resisting change, change is going to persist and take place. If you're resisting, maybe it goes in the relationship piece. Maybe you have somebody that you're like, oh, they're not my type, or they're not what I'm used to, or anything like that, and you're resisting, even though maybe they're bringing something into your life that you're not normally used to having. And so it's that change piece. And so are you resisting that? And so as you resist it, it's going to persist, and then you potentially push away that relationship so much that you may miss out. And so you've got to potentially the shot and be like, okay, what's going on here? You need to do some deep dive exploration. And yeah, it may not be the norm. Maybe it's not maybe what you're used to, because what you're used to is the shit that you're constantly attracting, the shit that, because you've got lessons that are coming up and you don't want to learn from them. And so because it's a lesson that is there for you to grow and learn, and you having the opportunity to learn from it and grow from it, okay, that situation is going to end. But then you're going to have another situation that's exactly like that one, that is going to be the same in teaching, so whatnot. So are you going to resist it, or are you going to embrace and be, okay, what's going on here? What do I need to learn from? What do I need to grow? What do I need to open up and bring into my life potentially? So it's just one of those things. But it's beautiful. It's the beauty in the eye of the beholder. And so there's beautiful things all around us, but are you aware? Are you actually just taking the time to be aware of your surroundings and whatnot? And the other thing that's very unique, I had an individual, let me see here real quick. And so it's just one of these things that you just never know. Honestly, you just never know what may take place, what may show up and whatnot. But this was an individual on LinkedIn that had sent me a message, somebody I don't know. And let me see, I've got to find, I'm looking for LinkedIn there. There it is. All right, cool. But yeah, that's one of the know. And yeah, just keep showing up consistent and whatnot, because we're watching. And so individual said, I thought it made sense to connect and have a conversation as I'm looking for my next opportunity. Over the last 25 plus years as an operations lead, experience building high performing teams focused on driving initiatives, streamlining processes, financials, and developing talent. And I was like, hey, good evening. It's a pleasure to connect. What are you considering for your opportunity? Because I didn't know. I was just going off of what they had given me. And he said, thanks for connecting and thank you for your service. I'm looking to use my years of experience in leadership and operations management with a company that has a great culture. My background is in contract operations on college campuses. My goal is to pivot into another industry using my business knowledge. And so, yeah, you just never know, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing me, just showing up and whatnot. But this individual had reached out and asked questions. And so looking to sit down and connect with him and see what he's looking at doing. And so, I don't know. I guess the pivot that he's looking at potentially taking place, he doesn't know what's on the back. And so just sitting down and talking to him, don't know what's going to come out of it, but hey, he reached out. And so it's one of these things that if you constantly show up, things are going to start showing up. It's the consistency piece. And I've talked about it. Consistency is not the sexiest piece. Consistency is the foundation for your secret sauce for success, but it's that consistency piece. Are you going to be, are you going to continue to show up and do what you need to? So it's just one of those things that sometimes showing up may not be something that you want to do, because you're doing it and you're like, I'm not seeing any results. It's not growing like I would like it to grow, XYZ, whatever it is. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's listening, and you don't know, and do big things and keep doing it. The consistency piece is huge and whatnot. So just some things to think about. Some thoughts that I had and whatnot. So, but like I always say, if you have anything going on, if you have this vision, this mission, you just don't know how to bring to fruition, and you feel like you're stuck, you feel you have nobody around you, you don't feel like anybody's there to support you and all that, reach out to myself, reach out to Patrick, reach out to people that made comments on the videos in the past. Find somebody. I don't care. Find somebody though that you can sit down and talk to. hopefully these are individuals that you're sitting down and they're giving you space and they're there for you, and it's a non-judgmental area and whatnot. But the things that Patrick and I are asking, two big things is if you're on Twitch, all we ask is that you go like and follow the 2NS channel, the Two Native Sons channel. For YouTube, same thing there. We have our YouTube channel. Go like, subscribe, follow. And then if you're on Instagram, go find the Two Native Sons Instagram page. Go like that, follow us, help us grow. But also with the follow, we'll follow you back and whatnot, see how we can be of service and see what we can do for you and see what we can collaboration and whatnot. So thank you guys for your support. Appreciate it. Truly am grateful for the people showing up and just the words of encouragement and just showing up to help out Two Native Sons, but also turn around and letting us help in whatever way we can. So other than that, I'll catch you guys later as the clock is chiming us out here. So other than that, you guys have a great night. I will catch you guys later. I love you. Peace. Catch you later.